Jayden gonna farm up all the way to 100 energy before firing off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands will be removing the turtle from the field of play. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent waits out their clock before sending out the ever annoying Marshmallow. But if this Wigglytuff doesn't know about that Boomburst coverage, they're about to find out. Welcome back to the channel. Fantasy Cup has been here for a week and I've not featured a single team because I think this meta is pretty boring unless you've got some good ideas on how to counter the meta and bring some fun spice. Huge shout out to today's featured battler who is doing exactly that, repping Boomburst Shadow Flygon, one of my favourite Pokemon to shoutcast, because you already know them fairies aren't going to respect the damage and we are going to land some huge booms. Rounding off Jayden's full Shadow team, we've got ABA Steel, so a Turtonator lead could be somewhat of an issue. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, Jayden leads Skarmory into NUKES. You absolutely love to see it. The opponent save switches into Turtonator, and this is also where we want to see this. We answer with Flygon. Flygon gonna have to respect the incoming Dragon Pulse. Flygon will be able to win this in the 2 shields, going straight Scorching Sands. Jayden overfarms before firing off the Scorching Sands. The opponent just completely sacks Turtonator, and back out comes NUKES. And do they know? Because if they don't know about that Boomburst coverage, they're about to find out. Get that NUKES off my screen! Out comes Haxorus looking for that counter farm down, but Shadow Flygon's like, nah, I'm not done. Fires off the Scorching Sands, forcing the opponent's Protect Shield. We send back out Skarmory. The opponent's like, fuck this game, and they're going to concede the match. Heading into the next battle. Oof. ABA weak to fire, so Jayden's going to have to sack his lead. Hopefully the opponent tries to bait us here. Let's see the opponent fire off the flamethrower, and we are already not sitting in a fantastic spot. We send out Flygon, out comes azumeril, and again we're full sending the Boomburst. Does this opponent respect the damage? They do not, and look at the damage, my god. azumeril, one of the bulkiest mon in this format, as well as any Great League format, but it certainly did not look like it. We then see the pivot into Sandslash, looking to get some use out of it, as it wants no part of that very healthy Turtonator. Jayden tanks the play rough, gonna commit to the full Shadow Claw farm down, but unfortunately I think we're very much approaching 1 Incinerate range. We do leave with a double drill run. By some miracle, do we survive at Incinerate? I think the answer's no. Come on, Slash. No, we certainly don't. It's now all down to Flygon to clean up. Jayden again very nicely overfarms before firing off Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands forces the opponent's final protection. The opponent wants to get us all shields down. What could we beat in the back? NUKES, not that. The opponent is going to outpace to the Seed Bomb, and that unfortunately is going to be all she wrote. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle. Come on, are you serious? Another Turtonator. I feel like I put the kiss of the death on this battle submission when I thought we are so weak to this thing. Hopefully this isn't the flamethrower variant and they're unwilling to lower their own defense. Okay, Dragon Pulse. This is looking better than the last battle. We should be able to force ourselves early shield advantage with a Brave Bird, and it's time to go nuking. Out comes Flygon with shield advantage, but Jayden very quickly going to be giving that Protect Shield back, shielding up the incoming Dragon Pulse. Jayden can now massively overfarm, although out comes NUKES, no shot. Are we going to go 2 for 2? Does the opponent respect the damage? No, they don't. Get that silly NUKES off my screen. Out comes azumeril. Jayden gonna fire off the Scorching Sands, and I think we need to pivot, and that is exactly what we do. Sending out Sandslash. I think we just need to save our shield for Flygon. Jayden agrees. The opponent fires off the play rough. That doesn't do much damage. Jayden can now massively overfarm. Azumeril, being the ever bulky, annoying blue mouse, unfortunately isn't going to be knocked out from this drill run, but it will leave him low. The opponent going to reach one further move, but again, this should only be a play rough, which is probably best case scenario, as now the opponent's only going to get 1 Incinerate. Back out comes Turtonator. We fire off the drill run. Drill run forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. All we've got to do here is reach the Scorching Sands, which we do. It's going to be high Turtonator by Turtonator. Get fucking wrecked. Azumeril is going to get Mudshot farm down, and we take that game. In the next battle, we lead Skarmory into Dedenne. Despite them being an electric type, this isn't actually the worst matchup. Due to them being part fairy, the Steel Wings will hit for neutral, but Jayden is going to save switch into Sonic the Hedgehog, once again baiting out what else other than Azumeril. One of the biggest issues with this cup, and why I haven't featured battles, is this is essentially the Azumeril cup. Although saying that, next week's Fossil Cup is essentially the Poliwrath Cup, where it's got a 73% win rate in the 1 shield, which is pretty absurd. So next week, we're going to be looking for some battle submissions with fun ways of countering Poliwrath. However, we got distracted, so we're able to keep switch advantage back out. Comes to Dene, we bait with the Ice Punch. The Ice Punch bait forces the Protect Shield, and that is going to force the energy. The opponent is going to take us out with the Discharge. Although Skarmory isn't the worst in this matchup, Flygon triple resist electric, so we opt to send that out. The opponent pivots out into Shadow Gardevoir, and this is going to make a very brief cameo appearance. Hi Gardevoir, bye Gardevoir. Dedenne certainly not known for its bulk. I do not think they're going to appreciate this. Brave Bird lands for absurd damage. We're going to be able to Steel Wing farm down and take that game. GG's and thanks for playing. Holy crap, how many Turtonator leads can you see? Hopefully this is another opponent running over, unwilling to debuff their own attack. Although if you're in this matchup, you should recognise the opponent just intends to sack their lead and we would never shield. However, we do manage to see yet another Dragon Pulse throw in which we survive, and we manage to force ourselves shield advantage for Flygon to come in and hopefully do some Flygon things. Jayden very quickly going to be giving up that Protect Shield in exchange for energy, and I don't dislike that play. Jayden actually going to farm up just before 100 energy, fire off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands goes unshielded, getting the knockout. Show me something we can nuke. Out comes Skarmory, something that actually fully walls us. We see the pivot into Sonic the Hedgehog, drawing out azumeril. Sonic needs to put in a lot of work here, as Flygon can only hit the single resisted against that near full health Skarmory. Jayden certainly finds himself in a tough position. We correctly shield up the Hydro Pump, which is a huge Protect Shield, then throws one Shadow Claw and the Drill Run for optimal fast move timing. So using a 2-turn move into a 3-turn move, you want to throw up 1, 4, 7 or 10, which Jayden does. Again, Jayden very disciplined with his timing, thrown again at optimal timing, securing the knockout. Back out comes Skarmory. We reach the Ice Punch. Ice Punch lands some reasonable chip damage, but I think that's just far too much health for Flygon to deal with. We go for the combo play, fire off the Scorching Sands. We're going to need to reach another, but Skarmory already at a charge move, and I think Sandslash is just going to get Steel Wing farmed down. Can we reach a move? Come on, Sonic, get there, get there! We don't get there, and unfortunately take a heartbreaking loss. Heading into the next battle this time, we see the Mighty Blue Mouse in the lead. The opponent safe switches into Galarian Stunfisk. We try our luck, catching a Rock Slide onto Flygon unsuccessfully. Jayden then correctly shields up the Earthquake, and I'm going to apologise for any background noise you can hear as I've got my windows fully opened as we're having a rare hot day in the UK. Jayden fires off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands secures the knockout. The opponent looking to hang on to them 2 Protect Shields. Back out comes azumeril. Is Jayden going to send the Boomburst? Yes, he is. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. And again, that damage is crazy. I fully understand the logic from the opponent thinking a Brave Bird would do more damage. A nice recognition from Jayden there. Full sending the Boomburst, recognising the opponent is unlikely to shield. We send out Sonic, and out comes Registeel. Sonic, of course, would get one shot by a Focus Blast. We go straight for the Drill Run. Drill Run forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. We see Jayden instantly put up that Protect Shield. I think I personally would look to call the bait. And luckily it's not me battling, as I definitely would have got one shot. Jayden then banks some energy, goes for the Wham Bam combo play, sends out Skarmory, fires off the Brave Bird, which is resisted. But my god, does that do a lot of damage. Registeel will be knocking us out with a Zap Cannon, and this is going to be quite a tricky endgame. Quite a lot to consider here. The opponent has a Protect Shield and potentially can catch back onto azumeril. We go for the Ice Punch bait, force the opponent's final protection, then fire off the Ice Punch, which the opponent catches. We see the full undercharge. Jayden recognising azumeril has depleted its energy. We look for that Shadow Claw farm down, which we get leave with the Drill Run, and Jayden is going to emerge victorious. Very nicely done. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see Skarmory into Goodra, pretty neutral lead. We do have to be mindful the opponent has access to Thunder Punch, which we will reach after 14 Dragon Breaths or when we've thrown 7 Steel Wings. We haven't thrown 7s, this can only be an Aqua Tail. Jayden recognises that, tanks the damage, and going to fire off the Sky Attack. Sky Attack won't be lethal, but will allow us to Steel Wing farm down unless the opponent pivots. The opponent gives us the full farm down. Out comes Turtonator. Jayden is going to have to stay in. We look to reach a charge move. We actually reach the Brave Bird, but fire off the Sky Attack. But regardless, the opponent should shield. No shot. The opponent actually doesn't shield, and out comes Flygon. That is a very bold play from the opponent, and I think there's no reason not to Brave Bird, and I guess you probably want to keep your Turtonator healthy, but what do I know? Stay in school, kids, and learn to count. Jayden, you savage, catching the Dragon Pulse onto Sonic. Sonic able to get the Shadow Claw farm down, but we do take one Incinerate in the process. Out comes azumeril. Jayden going to be firing off these neutral Drill Runs. The first one goes unshielded. The opponent hanging on to them 2 shields. They actually managed to get the full bubble farm down. Jayden sends back out Flygon. The opponent saving their protect shields. Like a pretty good play at this point. I think our only win con is the opponent looking to call a Dragon Claw bait, which we don't have. Of course, we're going to fire off the Scorching Sands. No, the opponent doesn't shield Trainer. The opponent is going to get Mudshot farm down and reverse 2 shield flex. I have no words. In the next battle, would you look at that? Yet another Turtonator. So far, we've seen 1 Flamethrower and 2 Dragon Pulses. Make that 3 Dragon Pulses, Trainer. That just isn't going to get the job done, and Jayden is going to YOLO the Brave Bird. Everyone to this point has shielded, and this opponent does exactly the same at putting up that Protect Shield. Recognising Turtonator is probably good against whatever's in the back. The opponent fires off the Dragon Pulse, then save Turtonator, and pivot out into Ferroform. We're going to fire off the neutral Scorching Sands. And at this point, I personally would throw 1 and look to catch. Jayden, evidently a fan of the channel, goes for the exact same play. Very nicely done. Looking at the health, we might be able to Shadow Claw farm down. That's 2, 3, 4. This is only a Power Whip. The opponent doesn't commit to the Thunder. Jayden, evidently been to school, recognises he doesn't need to shield, and gets a huge farm down. And we've got the Drill Run locked and loaded. The opponent not wanting to give up that final protection, actually send out Azumeril, looking to neutralise the energy. They tank the Drill Run, then send back out Turtonator, but there's plenty more of where that came from. We fire off the next Drill Run, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Jayden then sends out Flygon. Flygon will be knocking out this turtle with the Scorching Sands, and Azumeril is now certainly in Boomburst range. You know what time it is. Hi Azumeril, bye Azumeril, eat the Boomburst to the face and remove yourself from my screen. GG's and thanks for playing. Another very, very satisfying game. In the next battle, we see Como O in the lead. Interestingly enough, this opponent is staying in, so they likely look to close combat and dip. Skarmory will survive 1, but ouch, that hurts. The opponent sends out Turtonator looking for the snipe. We fire off the Sky Attack. As we didn't throw the Brave Bird, we're able to save Skarmory, force a Protect Shield, and send out Flygon. Flygon, of course, going to be respecting the incoming Dragon Pulse. We can now heavily overfarm before firing off the Scorching Sands. Jayden does overfarm, fire off the Scorching Sands. I believe we're doubled up, so if the opponent shields this, we can just throw the next. The opponent recognised that, let go of the turtle. The opponent sends out the ever-annoying Wiggles, and it's Boomburst time. Do they know? Boomburst! Let's go! There's another Boomburst boom. The opponent near gets 1 shot. We send out Sonic the Hedgehog, get the double resisted. Shadow Claw farm down, back out, comes Como O. I don't know if I called it Hakamo O earlier in the video, but regardless, this is game, set, and match. The opponent goes for the Dragon Claw bait, but no bait. We'll be saving this opponent's fate. The first Ice Punch, force the opponent's final Protect Shield, and the second one is going to be all she wrote with yet another beautiful dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see Skarmory into Azumeril. I'll be honest, at this point, I was expecting it to be Turtonator. This isn't actually the best matchup for the Shadow variant of Skarmory, as Hydro Pump just does so much damage. Jayden fires off the Sky Attack goes unshielded. This is actually quite close to Hydro Pump range for the Shadow Skarmory. Jayden actually correctly shields up the Hydro Pump, which is actually going to allow us a massive Steel Wing farm down. The opponent unable to reach the next Hydro Pump. This is either a Play Rough or Ice Beam. The opponent fires off the Play Rough, which does get a slow. Skarmory leaves with a whole heap of energy. Hopefully not Turtonator, as we are going to get sniped. The opponent sends out a Charmer. Questionable. The first Brave Bird, forced to Protect Shield. We pivot into Sonic. I'm not really sure if I like that pivot, to be honest. As if the opponent now switches out themselves, we are going to have Flygon aligned against this Marshmallow. Well, we do actually have some health on Skarmory, so we can potentially Sky Attack it later. The opponent stays in, fire off the Disarming Voice. Sonic actually took a lot more damage than I was expecting from that, as we're already deep in the red. We fire off the Ice Punch, forcing the protection. The opponent looking for that tap, charm down, farm down, which they just about get. We do send back out Skarmory. We're able to reach the Sky Attack, and we've got Flygon up a Protect Shield versus whatever's in the back. Don't be a Fairy. The opponent does have a Fairy, but that is certainly a Fairy we want to see. We could fire off the Scorching Sands, but why not hit him in the face with that Boomburst? Flygon is a Fairy, counter confirmed. You heard it here first. GG's. Normal service has resumed with another Turtonator in the lead. So far, 75% of trainers have thrown Dragon Pulse. Moment of truth. Come on, trainer. You know you want a Dragon Pulse. Fuck. Well, that's less than ideal. Skarmory gets one shot before getting off any damage whatsoever. We send out Flygon. We're able to outpace to the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands secures the knockout, so at least Sonic doesn't have to face that later. Out comes Skarmory, and this is not looking fantastic. Jayden actually opting to stay in. Fire off the Scorching Sands. This is single resisted. It does some reasonable damage, but this is by no means a good matchup. Jayden going to shield up the incoming Sky attack. Let's see if Jayden can play his way out of this one. We go for the next Scorching Sands, which won't be lethal, but the opponent might actually shield, thinking we've got something that doesn't want to see the Skarmory in the back. The opponent tanks the damage. Send out azumeril. Sonic down a Protect Shield, not in the best spot. We fire off the Duron. The opponent obviously thinking we need to start shielding something, so they shield that up. Jayden gonna respect the Hydro Pump. Okay, huge shield. Azumeril takes 21 turns, which is essentially like 10 years to reach a Hydro Pump. So can our Switch Timer pop up before they reach the next one? Jayden fires off the next Duron. Please, Timer, we need a catch to win this game. Or potentially Switch Timer does pop up. Holy Jayden, what a play. Jayden makes that catch. The opponent fires off the Hydro Pump. Back out comes Sonic. The opponent sends back out Skarmory. It's going to be high Skarmory, bye Skarmory. Jayden is going to be able to outpace Azumeril to the Duron. He settles for the Ice Punch, but regardless, Ice Punch is enough from this range, even when we hit no bubbles, and we take that game. Very, very nicely done, buddy. Unfortunately, that is going to draw to a close today's showcase. Huge shout out to Jayden for a very fun battle submission. That is going to be my one and only upload in the Fantasy Cup. I think you'll all agree that is definitely the one to feature, as them Boomburst were brilliant. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you'd like your battles featured on my channel, a link to the battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.